Shadows of betrayal. The summer air was heavy with the scent of blooming flowers as Claire stood on her back porch, staring into the golden hues of the setting sun. Her mind drifted, as it often did these days, to the emptiness she felt within her marriage. Michael, her husband of 15 years, was a successful corporate executive. His demanding schedule left little room for family dinners or weekend getaways. Their once passionate connection had withered into polite exchanges and distant conversations. Claire yearned for someone to see her, not just as a mother or a wife, but as a woman. This summer, Ethan, Michael's 22-year-old son from his previous marriage, was staying with them during his college break. The arrangement had initially filled Claire with nervous anticipation. She hadn't spent much time with Ethan since his teenage years. Now, as a young man, Ethan was magnetic, his laughter infectious, his presence disarmingly warm. He was Michael's mirror in his younger days, with a charm that drew people in effortlessly. Building tension. Ethan had always been respectful, but as the weeks went by, Claire noticed subtle changes. The way his gaze lingered a second too long, the compliments that felt more personal than polite. "You're glowing today, Claire," he'd said one morning as she poured him coffee. The words lingered, heating her cheeks long after he had left the kitchen. It started innocently enough. They worked together in the garden, talking about everything from his studies to her unfulfilled dreams of opening an art gallery. One evening, while Michael was working late yet again, Ethan offered to help Claire fix a broken cabinet in the kitchen. As they worked side by side, their hands brushed, a simple, fleeting touch that sent shivers down her spine. She caught her breath, looking up to see him staring at her with an intensity that made her heart race. That night, Claire couldn't sleep. Her mind replayed the moment in vivid detail. The way his hand lingered, the way he looked at her. She told herself it was nothing, that she was reading too much into it. But when their conversations grew deeper and their time together more frequent, the boundaries began to blur. One evening, as they sat on the porch sipping wine, Ethan confessed, "I've always admired you, Claire. You're incredible." The words were innocent enough, but the way he said them wasn't. "You shouldn't say things like that," she whispered, but even as the words left her mouth, she knew she didn't mean them. It happened on a stormy night. Michael was away on a business trip, and the house felt eerily quiet. Ethan found Claire in the living room, staring at the rain pelting against the window. He sat beside her, closer than usual, and placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "You deserve more, Claire," he said softly. His words unraveled the fragile walls she had built around her heart. Before she knew it, their lips met in a searing kiss. It was a collision of pent-up emotions and forbidden desires. Claire pulled back, her mind racing, but the fire in Ethan's eyes drew her in again. They spent the night tangled in a whirlwind of passion and guilt, but secrets have a way of unraveling. Michael returned home early one evening to find Ethan and Claire in the garden, their laughter too intimate, their body language too telling. Michael's suspicion grew, and one night after a heated argument with Claire about their distant marriage, he confronted Ethan. "What's going on between you two?" Michael demanded, his voice trembling with anger. Ethan froze, his guilt written all over his face. Claire tried to intervene, but the damage was done. The truth spilled out, shattering the fragile facade of their family. The story ends with Claire sitting on the same porch where it all began, staring at the sunset and wondering if the fleeting moments of passion were worth the cost of everything she had lost.